Deaf and Proud. This title is a takeoff of Black and Proud to emphasize the additional and primary identity deaf African American women embrace. Many deaf do not consider themselves disabled. They are American citizens with a different language. Many also claim an additional culture stemming from being not only deaf, but African American. They are proud of their history and accomplishments and wish to be respected and encouraged and not pitied. Deaf Ethiopian Jew. I have created my own ASL sign for this deaf Ethiopian Jew who has immigrated to America. The hand shape is the sign for house, except the fingers are signing B and I for the Hebrew Beth Israel. Therefore, this is my own sign for the Hebrew words meaning House of Israel. It is common deaf practice to create a name sign or a sign for a city. She is wearing traditional clothing from her native Ethiopia. The gold star of David is the universal sign for us Jews and traditionally adorns the synagogue. Blue and white are the national colors of Israel. I wanted this deaf Jew to feel protected and safe. Thus, the signing hands are not hers, but someone much larger, facing and embracing her. Flowers, an ASL study of disability. Dedicated to Ms. Flowers, the woman who cared enough to reach out to the disabled Maya, Marguerite, assisting her in finding her voice silenced from childhood abuse. Inspired by Dr. Maya Angelou's 1993 words from On the Pulse of Morning. Take the dream into the palm of your hands, mold it into the shape of your most private need, sculpt it into the image of your most public self. Lift up your hearts. Each new hour holds new chances for a new beginning. Friendship. Initially, I sculpted these two hands to be separate and interactive, and I therefore exaggerated the index fingers. But African-American woodworker Chena Foster insisted on crafting the wooden base to emphasize the interracial statement. Won't argue with the expert. The yellow beads are from Africa, given to me by an art appreciator. Happy. Happy can be signed with one or both hands. This sculpture is created for the tactile exhibit at the 1999 International Art and Soul Festival in California, where artists with disabilities from around the world will present their art. Helena is a Minnesota delegate. Happy has texture, ASL, braille, and large raised print and shapes.
fulaini, fulaini wote fulaini, 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 fulaini,
I love you, I love you. On March 1st, 1999, at 1:12 a.m., warrior woman Dawn Capizio Gilmore finally died after a 4-year, 7-month battle with ovarian cancer. I am creating a complete American Sign Language Braille Deaf and Dying series to support hospice for the deaf. In the meantime, here is my farewell to my dear sister who has inspired it all. Her hand and my hand together, one heart. I love myself. Not technically an ASL sculpture, this message is important and does artistically represent deaf culture. Because of my disability, this was my one attempt to follow my physician's advice, namely to sculpt smaller. Nice try. I obviously did not adhere to this restriction. I love you, Michael. At first glance, she appears to sign I love Mondays. But my husband, Michael, has a similar-looking signed name, and I do love him much more than I love Mondays. Inspiration. Interestingly enough, my first ASL sculpture, created way back in 1994, entitled Inspiration, became my inspiration for the first and only exhibit of its kind in 200 years of deaf culture, American Sign Language in clay. Kwanzaa. Swahili for first, Kwanzaa is the first indigenous, non-heroic African-American holiday in the United States and is celebrated from December 26th until January 1st. Kibunzi corn represents the offspring. The kinara, crafted from redwood burl, holds 3 red candles for struggle, 3 green for the future, and the black for unity. Held by the deaf woman, the Mazao harvest bowl displays the braille for Kwanzaa in red and green. The blind woman is signing Kwanzaa. A new sign for a recent holiday, this is used in California. Another sign is used on the East Coast. Many ASL speakers still fingerspell it. This was my first braille sculpture, Harambe.